Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Lenny, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of running an equipment rental business. And I'm going to use my business as an example. I have a mobility scooter business. I rent out mobility scooters. So I'll sort of go over how, my day-to-day is, and then I'll go into some pros and cons, and hopefully that'll give you an idea of what it's like to run an equipment rental business, if it's something you want to get into, and how to, what things to look for when you are looking into getting into this business, and what kind of equipment you should be looking into renting, and how you want to run this business and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's really helpful information that you will definitely enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, drop a comment below if you have a question, I'll definitely answer it. And with that said, let's get into it. My day-to-day with my mobility scooter business is pretty simple. I get calls or emails requesting scooters, so I get different requests. Some are for a day, some are for a week, some are for a month, some are for going to a theme park, some are for people that are visiting. They're traveling and they're visiting and they want a scooter to get around. They're going somewhere to a convention. They just want to, see the area, whatever it is. So I get calls, I get emails. I honestly pick and choose. I don't go for every job. Usually I have a minimum of 3 days for a rental, because it's just not necessarily worth it to do 1 or 2 days unless it's really close to me and it's a really easy job, or I'm just interested in doing it. When I book a job, I send them a rental agreement that they have to sign, send it back to me. I send them a payment request up front. They pay, and that's pretty much it. And I have a delivery date and a pickup date. On the delivery date, I go bring the scooter or several scooters to their location. A lot of times it's at a hotel, so it's very easy. I just go to the hotel front desk. I drop it off. I have a little tag with the person's name, and that's it. Most of the time, I don't even meet the person. I don't even waste any time. I just drop it off. And then when my customer is done using the scooter, they leave it with the hotel front desk and I just pick it up. That's basically it. That's pretty much the whole business. So let's get into the pros and cons. And maybe I'm missing a few things, but hopefully this gives you a good idea of what to expect. One of the pros is that it's not really expensive to get into this business, at least the mobility scooter rental business that I'm in. I started with about $500. I bought one scooter from Facebook Marketplace. It was a used scooter, but it was good, and that's how I started. The ROI is pretty good. The daily rental rate is pretty good, where you'll pretty much make back your money in like 2, 3, 4, 5 rentals. So it's really quick. You need a website. Just get on Google My Business, get on Yelp, and you're pretty much good to go. I mean, you have to market. It really depends on your area. You got to make sure there's demand for this, but you never know. Anybody may need a scooter. And again, I'm just talking about scooters because that's my business, but with other equipment that you might want to get into, that's the things that you think about. Is there demand, and how all that's going to work. It's also not difficult to get into either. Make sure you have a great website. You could try to advertise locally, and that's really all you need. And you just get 1 or 2 or 3 pieces of equipment to start with. You don't need to get more, or you just wait to book a job and you just get equipment for that one job, and that's how you start. Just wait for a job and get the equipment you need for that job. The third thing is that it's fairly passive. It's not completely passive. You have to manage the business, you have to manage calls, emails, and you have to do deliveries, and you have to pick up. But if you have a weekly rental, you do a delivery, let's say on Monday, and you're gonna pick it up the following Monday, you're not doing anything. So it's sort of passive, but not completely, because it's long rental. You don't need to do anything typically in between. Now for the cons. Doing deliveries is annoying. Obviously, if you don't have employees yet, you'll probably be doing it yourself. And if you live in an area with a lot of traffic, like I do, that's probably the most annoying thing, is driving to deliver the scooter and driving to pick it up, because you pretty much have to go both ways. You have to go there to deliver it, you have to come back, you have to go there to pick it up, and you have to come back. So it's kind of 2 round trips. When you're starting out, you're probably not gonna have employees or anything like that. You're gonna have to do it yourself, and you're not gonna have a storefront where people can come pick it up, and that's a whole separate thing. So you're gonna be doing the deliveries. It can get annoying, but that's part of the job. You gotta make sure you're making enough money to make that worthwhile. Number 2 is people calling with problems and issues, and it rarely happens, but it's something you have to expect, and it can sort of happen any time of the day. If they have a problem with the rental, with the equipment, in my example, a mobility scooter, they're gonna call me. A lot of times they call me asking me where the charger is, right, for the battery, and it's just behind the seat in a pouch, but they just don't see it. They don't know it's there. So they're like, hey, you didn't give me a charger. Or if something goes wrong, it's rare, and if you take care of your equipment, and again, it depends on equipment. If you're doing tables and chairs, probably nothing's gonna go wrong. It's a piece of plastic. But if you have something that's mechanical, that's electric, like a mobility scooter or a piece of equipment like that, something can always go wrong. So you can always get a call where somebody's like, hey, this thing doesn't work. What do I do? Come help me. I mean, it's happened maybe a couple of times, but I was able to handle it very easily. It's not like I had to like rush in an emergency or anything like that, but just remember, things like that can happen. And number 3, you do need storage. So depending on the equipment, you will need to store it somewhere. If you have a house, if you have a garage, you're probably good, and it depends on the size of the equipment. But once you start to get more, you will need to store it somewhere. So if you're running out of an apartment, you'll probably need a storage space. Luckily, I have one in my building where I keep all my scooters. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoy this, and it gives you some valuable information on getting into an equipment rental business and what to look for, what kind of equipment you want to deal with, and what to expect. If you want to know more, check out my other videos on equipment rental businesses. I have several, and with that said, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.